Hello everyone. Again, we are here for essay writing, and today I must point out that we are in the last leg of this area because we have taken some time looking at various questions that point to key episodes in Adult's House. Once again, I want to remind the candidates that as we answer the questions, we should have in mind how marks are allocated in this question, in this paper. And specifically, we are talking about question 2 and question 3. And once more, question 2 and 3 must have the introduction. We must have the body, the grammar, and finally, the conclusion. The 4 areas will give us the 20 marks that all of us need. Now, today we have a different question altogether. We want to look at a question that is pointing to a relationship cannot thrive so long as one partner feels superior. Refer to Adult's House for illustrations. Now, somebody may be wondering, now that we are talking about relationships, somebody would be wondering, how many relations do we have in Adult's House? But we are looking at relations where there is a partner that feels superior. And this is a relation that must run from the beginning of the play to the end. And therefore, so far, we have the relations between Mrs. Linde and the husband. Not much is mentioned about the husband, so we can't see superiority in it. There is also the relation between Krogstad and the late wife. Again, we can't see the superiority. There's the relationship between Anne and the husband, estranged husband. Again, we don't see superiority. So in the long run, we are only remaining with one relation, and that is the relation between Helma and Nora. And even without being told, then your illustrations must be confined to the two. Now back to the question. We have a question that is talking about a relation that cannot thrive so long as one partner feels superior. So we want, what is important in the interpretation is that the candidate must identify a relation and how superiority causes a failure. Then you must link this by relating what you are giving us to the test, or the events, or the characters, like we have said. Now we have a sample introduction for us, and we are saying that in Adult's House, we have said that a good student must always begin with the title, because when you do that, then your link is already taken care of. Because if you don't have that, then your question will be marked halfway. So we are saying in Adult's House, a union collapses because of domineering tendencies of one party. Now, when you get there, the link is already there. We are already talking of domineering tendencies of one party, and this takes care of superiority. So that question is, that sentence handles the introduction so well, and at that point, if a candidate stops there, then that candidate gets his 2 out of 2. Alternatively, you can add this so that you see the loopholes that could have been there, could have been in the first sentence. Tovard, for instance, is so controlling and manipulative of Nora to a point Nora cannot take it anymore, leading to a separation. Now, we are talking of Tovard now. We have gone the character, and we are looking at controlling and manipulating, taking care of superiority, and the fact that it leads to a separation, a failure. Now, emphasis will be given to identification of a relation, that is in the introduction, then identification of superiority and how it results into failure. So the failure of that relation is that all of us would want a relation to continue, but in the long run, this one collapses because there is a separation. Now we are going to the body straight away, having looked at the introductory bit, and we are looking at it as S. S1, Tobad is so controlling of Nora to a point that he dictates what Nora should not eat. For instance, the macaroon. However, he fails since Nora eats the macaroons in secret. Now, if you look at page 6, then we'll see how the two relate, and we'll establish that there's a relationship. Now, number 2, we have details of superiority. How is it that, what is it that Tobad says about macaroons? Have you visited the confectioners? Have you keeping the ground rules and all that? That is superiority, but in the long run, it fails because we are told Nora is capable of consuming the macaroons in secret. S2, Tobad turns down Nora's suggestion to borrow money for Christmas festivities because he feels Nora's decision is thrifty. Now, this is after Tobad has landed a job at the bank. He has not taken up his job yet, and is just about. So Nora is saying that now that the family has all along lived on the lean times, now that there is hope, why don't they borrow money and enjoy Christmas together? And we see the details of Tobad overrules her and tells her how a house is not built on borrowing. Number 3, S3, out of superiority, Tobad feels that he should not give in to Nora's request of traveling to the south, as it is at his discretion to decide what privilege he offers her and not vice versa. Now, this is after the doctor has prescribed that Tobad has to travel to the south in order to get cured. Because the doctor has said this must be a secret, Nora is trying to find a way of convincing Tobad that they travel south. But when we look at page 19, I want us to read that. In page 19, the first Nora, but it was absolutely necessary that he should not know. My goodness, can't you understand that? It was necessary he should have no idea what a dangerous condition he was in. It was to be that the doctors came and said that his life was in danger, and that the only thing to save him was to live in south. Do you suppose I did not try? First of all, to get what I wanted as if it were for myself. Now, Nora is telling us that after the doctor had found it necessary that Tobad had to be taken to the south, and at the same time is in a dangerous condition, and therefore he should not know. Nora is trying through all the means she can to convince the husband that they travel to south without him knowing. And this is what he tells the husband. It was to me that the doctors came and said that his life was in danger, and that the only thing to save him was to live in the south. Do you suppose I did not try? First of all, to get what I wanted as if it were for myself. I told him how much I should love to travel abroad, like other young wives. First detail. I tried tears, the second details. I tried entities with him. I told him that he ought to remember the condition I was in, and that he ought to be kind and indulgent to me. I even hinted that he might raise a loan. But what was Tobad's response? That nearly made him angry. Christian, he said, I was thoughtless, and that it was his duty as my husband not to indulge me in my whims and caprices, as I believe he called them. Very well, I thought you must be saved. And that was how I came to devise a way out of the difficulty. So, because of superiority, Tobad feels that he cannot go by the husband's, the wife's suggestion. And if you look at page 20, you see the superiority comes in still. The first Nora, good heavens, no, how could you think so? A man who has such strong opinions about these things. And besides, how painful and humiliating it would be for Tobad, with his manly independence, to know that he owed me anything. it would upset our mutual relations altogether. Our beautiful, happy home would no longer be what it is now. Now, Nora is saying that justify why she's keeping all this a secret. She's telling us that if Topad knew that she had borrowed money to save him, then he would not take that kindly. It would be humiliating to him. It would injure his manly independence. And he's telling us that it would jeopardize their relations. Why would that happen? Because Topad is a proud man. Because he feels superior. Now, the next point is S4. Topad feels that it would be embarrassing to him to spare Krogstad of his job because of Nora's influence. Now, Nora has a loan with Krogstad, and Krogstad has realized that Elmer is coming in as the new bank manager. He has also heard that Elmer is going to fire him, dismiss him, and therefore he blackmails Nora. He's telling Nora to use her influence to see to it that he keeps his job. And we find that in page 46. I'll read the two only. Page 46. Page 46, it says, the first Nora, that is nice of you. Goes to Christmas tree. A short pause. How pretty the red flowers look. But tell me, was it really something very bad that this Krogstad was guilty of? He forged someone's name. Have you any idea what that means? Many a man has been able to retrieve his character if he has only has openly confessed his fault and taken his punishment. But Krogstad did nothing of that sort. He got himself out of it by a cunning trick, and that is why he has gone under. Page 47. We can look at page 60. There's some detail I want us to see in page 60, but you can get to 59 before we get there. Elmer is now saying that is how we get to know that is suffering from superiority. Nora, the first Nora, you never can tell what mischief this man may contrive. We ought to be so well off, so snug and happy here in our peaceful home, and have no cares. You and I and the children. Topad, that is why I beg you so earnestly. And it is just by interceding for him that you make it impossible for me to keep him. It is already known at the bank that I mean to dismiss Krogstad. Is it to get about now that the new manager has changed his mind at his wife's bidding? Then the second last, Elmer, of course, if only this obstinate little person can get her way, do you suppose I'm going to make myself ridiculous before my whole staff, to let people think that I am a man to be swayed by all sorts of outside influence? So Topad is saying no, because it is already a common knowledge at the workplace that is going to fire Topad. He does not want to be seen to be somebody that is giving in to outside influence, that is giving in to the wife's influence, and that is out of superiority. Those are details that point to a superiority. We have the fifth point. Nora finally breaks away from her family on account of how low Topad and Papa have treated her all along. When finally Nora realizes that Topad cannot stand by her, come rain, come sunshine, then she decides to break away from the family. So we are seeing that there's a relationship between the two. The details of superiority of Krogstad is seen in Topad is seen in page 110, 111, 102. He said he has realized he's married to a hypocrite, a liar, a lady that has taken after the father. How am I to appear before the public? I am ruined. So all this is pointing to the fact that Topad would rather keep his image instead of standing by the wife. And as a result of that, that points to, because of that, he even gives restrictions. This lady is not going to work, is not going to play her wifely duties anymore, but has to stay along for public relations. In conclusion, we said that we must remember to conclude. Any essay in question 2 and 3 must be concluded, and a conclusion must stand on its own. A conclusion can be summative. A conclusion can be, you can use a proverb. You can recap the whole thing. You can give a moral lesson. All that is acceptable so long as, the statement that you give is binding to what the question is all about. For us, it is indeed true that pride comes before a fall. Toward is proud. That is why he is superior. That's why he is suffering from superiority. That is why he cannot take the decisions that are given by Nora at all times. We have an assignment. Henry Gibson's Adolf's House points an accusing finger at the parents for the children's woes. Write an essay confirming this allegation. Remember, 20 marks is at stake. We must do everything possible. Continue looking at the episodes that answer questions that we have given, attempt the assignments, and continue developing the points, and see if you can come up with 450 marks or 1 3/4 pages. Thank you. Keep safe.